welcome back. Day
Good
7.
morning. Good morning. I enjoyed your interview yesterday.
This
It
just
was nice to meet Michelle.
Yes. I had to adjust that tag. It looked like it was coming out of my white head because it's a white tag. Something like that was kind of annoying. It looked like I had a little, misplaced
Nice.
unicorn horn.
Yeah, why not? Who says it has to come out of your forehead? If you're a unicorn, why does it have to always be middle of your forehead if it's going to be a unicorn horn? Why can't it be the side or the back?
And maybe it has to do with balance.
Well, I mean, we're, symmetrical down the midline, I guess. But I've seen many like goats and sheep and stuff that have lost one horn, and they're technically unicorns now. So,
oh, I suppose. And they might not be happy about it.
They might not be, but we should be. Celebrate them.
Speaking of unicorns, Unstable Unicorns is one of my favorite card games of all time.
We still haven't sat down and done it all the way through so we know how to do it right.
I love that game. And my loving youngest child, who's usually so sweet, is mean, man. She is strategic and ruthless, and she will just rip you. Woo! She is
under the cover of unicorns. That's when the viciousness comes out. She's not going to storm any battlefields. She's not going to be mean in the hallways of a high school, but give her the cover of a unicorn and she's vicious.
For sure. No remorse at all. She'll just take you down. And she'll be like,
Oh, so someone commented, people have been commenting that they've been watching Fisk and they love it. And so
I got an email.
Fisk has moved up my list, but I haven't been able to watch it yet because on my Marvel watch, I've gotten to Daredevil, which is something I've never watched before. I've never seen Daredevil before. It's new to me. Okay. So I'm pretty excited. I watched like 3 episodes yesterday. Okay. And as I was watching one of them, Daredevil is there like beating up a bad guy, trying to get a name out of him to find out who the bad guy works for. Do you know who he works for? Fisk. I was like, what?
I'm sure it's not Helen Tudor Fisk.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not. But at the same time, I like to think that she has a cousin who's like a mobster in the US. And
Oh yeah. I think the universe is telling you. Sure.
Yes.
Absolutely. The Marvel universe is absolutely telling you.
Yes.
Yes. I had a patron send me an email, said, thanks for a recommendation. I nearly peed my pants.
Yeah.
Because it's struck her that funny.
That is wonderful. And some of our commenters on the YouTube channel have been saying it's absolutely like laugh out loud funny. So it has moved up on my list. Good. For sure.
I don't usually laugh out loud, but I do when I watch Fisk. And I had on my headphones, because my husband was in the dining room and he's watching golf or whatever it is he's watching. And he was just finishing his adult beverage after dinner and sitting in the dining room. Usually morphs to the living room, but he was just right where he was. But he could hear me. He's on. Different people have different sense of humor, because sometimes I find absolutely laugh out loud, pee your pants funny. He's like, and I'm like, how can you not? Does he not think it's funny, or does he not get it? Or
does it not apply? That's every now and then I'll find something that I think is absolutely hilarious. Yeah. And my husband will ask me about it and I'm like, it's not for you. Like it's not for you. Like he's just, I just know he's not going to enjoy it. So why?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and sometimes it's really hard to find things that both of us think are funny. I have to tell you, it's largely to your credit that we started watching Ted Lasso.
My gosh.
I didn't know about Ted Lasso until you mentioned it last year. And I'm like, okay. So we finally got Apple TV. And I didn't have Apple TV last year. So we got Apple TV. Their price just went up, but still, it's still less than Drive Up.
Did you do it for the sports?
No, we had it before that.
Oh, okay.
I did it because there was some shows that people talked about that I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
And I had, when I bought a laptop several years ago, I had like a free trial or something. Right. But then there came out to be some shows that people talked about that I'm like, oh, I probably would like that. Anyway, and it was like $6.99 a month. I know it's gone up to $9.99, but still, that's a lot of entertainment for $10. I'm just saying.
I would say Apple TV is one of the services where I have enjoyed just about every show I've watched on Apple TV, but it's also one where they still have a very limited selection of their originals.
That's true.
So you can get it and have it for a month or two and like just get caught up on everything and then just shut it off for like 6 months, really.
Yeah.
And then just get it again and get caught up.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's that sort of.
If you can remember to do that.
True.
I can't. Yeah. Anyway, so we started watching Ted Lasso was the point. And it was during this summer and we don't have central air. And it was just, you know, I don't know. We had a few weeks. It was pretty hot. And so we have a window unit. The only reason you'll see why this is relevant in a second, but we have a window unit in our bedroom. And it was really hot. And we didn't want to sit in the living room to watch Ted Lasso because it was really hot. And our TV is not new by any means. And we couldn't figure out how to stream. We don't have a way to have Apple TV on the big TV.
Right.
So we have a little lap desk and we'd go sit in the bed. We'd sit in our bed and lean against the headboard and have the window unit blowing on us. We had our little wireless speaker on the headboard behind us because the window AC was too loud, but that was like stereo. We were pretending. And then we had our little, you know, lap desk thing with my laptop and we would sit in bed and I would knit. We would watch Apple TV and it was nice.
That's cute.
And we'd watch 2 or 3 episodes at a time. And he thought they were funny. He thought they were just as funny as I did. And so that's why it was kind of special because it's hard to find shows that you both laugh at the same time, you know?
Yes. Yeah. That one's great. And that's one that's over. There were 3 seasons. It's wrapped up. It's done.
Really?
Yeah. They had a plan for it to be 3 seasons.
Oh, I didn't know that. We're not done. We're like right at the beginning of season 3. We're not finished yet.
Oh yeah. So they wrap it up. It's done.
Okay. Don't tell me.
I'm sorry to break your heart, but I'll give you a couple other recommendations because of Ted Lasso. See, Adam and I don't watch. We have never really watched TV together. We just have very different tastes. He wants to watch like documentary, like factual stuff, games, documentaries, stuff like that. And I am all about like fiction, sci-fi, fantasy, just fiction in general. I want to get away from the world. I'm sorry. It's weird out there. So let's have some manufactured weirdness and enjoy that instead, you know? But we came together over Ted Lasso.
Oh, see?
And then from that,
uniting couples all over the world.
It is. And then from that, we started watching a show called Welcome to Wrexham, which is basically the same sort of it's the same sort of idea, but real life. So Ryan Reynolds and one of the guys from Rob McElhenney, who's in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they bought a football team in Wrexham, Wales that used to be like way high up in the leagues and stuff. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And to the point where they were no longer part of the continuum where they make money from the overarching football organization. Okay. And so their goal was to buy the team and build it up so that it gets back up to where it's a professional level again. Right. And I want to say there's been 3 seasons so far, and I'm not going to tell you.
And where do I find
how it goes? I think it's on like Hulu.
Okay,
maybe.
I'll have to look.
But if you do streaming, Welcome to Wrexham streaming, it'll tell you what that is. So that one was great.
Good. Wrote it down.
And then also on Netflix, there is a documentary about, and like 4 or 6 episodes about David Beckham, that we
Oh,
watched.
I've watched that. Yeah. That was cool.
That
And
was really good.
since we're on, apparently on European soccer or football, on Apple TV is the Messi documentary.
Yes, and I haven't watched that yet.
And the new episode just came out, I think yesterday on Apple TV.
So I should probably wait until Adam's back and then
he would like
watch that.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why we're on to sports now, but those are good documentaries. I think super interesting. I like to watch men run around in little shorts.
The funny thing about the Beckham one, it was so interesting to see how football evolved because of Beckham.
And how that came out.
Because they were wearing like the big baggy whatever and the long sleeve baggy shirts and like stuff.
Shorts.
And then he came in and became like a model on the side. And then they're like, oh, he's a hottie. Wait, they're all hotties. And then everything got back to the short shorts again and the, short sleeve, everything. And they're all like, I mean,
I will tell you, this is going to sound really stupid, but because I watched some of this, I kind of got interested in soccer, in European, in football. And Will and I started watching the American Women's League. And the finals were like, I mean, this is in real life, not a documentary. And the final was heartbreaking. Because, one of the star players on one of the teams, I won't give it away, but she gets injured right away, and it's like the last game of her career. And it was like,
wow.
Yeah. It was a good
we've been going to matches together.
Yeah.
Like different, places when we travel now, we'll look and see if there's a football match for us to go to. The reason why we went to Glasgow recently was to go to a football match with a friend from Glasgow who is a longtime Rangers fan. And we were like, if you have a chance to go to a UK league game, like with a hardcore fan, that is another level to the experience that you don't otherwise get. So
somebody to explain hockey to me. I need to just sit next to someone who understands hockey, because it's like too many bodies. At least with soccer, the ball is bigger. It's spread out. With hockey, it's all condensed down. There's way too many bodies. The uniforms are huge. There's all the sticks, and the puck is like, that big.
Yeah, it's very fast.
And you can't knit really and pay attention to what's happening, because you're like,
well, you can't look. You certainly can't look at your knitting. You have to be watching. We went to a Bruins game last winter. And it's the first time I went to a hockey game since I was a little kid, because my dad used to play just in community leagues, and we would go and watch him. And I remember just like laying down in the stands,
when
like
you were little.
when I was very little.
Yeah.
And then around where I live, there's some high schools have hockey teams. And so I'd been to a few hockey games in my high school years. But so when I was younger, the crowds were a little more rough, let's say.
Oh.
And we were going to the Bruins game, which is in Boston, which has a reputation, shall we say, for being a little bit rougher, more vocal. And so I was going to the hockey game, and I was totally prepared to be like, it's going to be, the crowds are going to be crazy and whatever. It was the nicest experience I've had at a professional game. Like it was like total camaraderie. Everyone was so nice to each other. There was like lighthearted teasing. There was sort of like one row up and a few seats over, there was someone from cheering on the other team.
Yeah.
And there was like honestly good-natured ribbing going on.
Good. So it was good sports. Nobody was turdly.
Right. And they were like, and everything was fine. And then when the game got out, everyone left in an orderly manner and continued being like nice and everything. And I was like, is this Boston? What is happening?
People got nice in Boston?
Have they been dosing the water here? What's happening?
They just provide a little ice mist with some downers. Yeah. The Zamboni spread some mist around.
Yeah, it just, we're all like,
that's cool.
No, it was really sweet. I
like baseball for knitting purposes.
Oh, but baseball's great. Did I tell you about the time? So we have a minor league. I'm going to tell you anyway. We have a minor league team here in Hartford that has their
goats?
stadium has been voted the best minor league stadium in the country. It's a really nice stadium.
Nice. The Hartford Goats or something?
The Yard Goats.
Yard Goats.
We don't want none of your roof goats or field goats. We have yard goats here. Okay. We are civilized.
No pasture goats.
So we'll just get tickets. Like if we have time and we realize there's a game, Adam will get on the resale site basically and just buy tickets off someone and we go to the game.
Cool.
But there's one time when we went and we got, you know how sometimes stadiums they'll have the seating and then like there's the walkway part, but that back row of the seating will be like a little platform for your drinks and stuff, and you have a tall chair, a tall stool. So those were the only tickets available that game. So that's what we had. The 4 of us were there. I had my knitting. I'm trying to watch the game, right? And there's this guy who's back and forth to the concessions to get another beer and then comes back to get another beer and then comes back. And he keeps standing because we're like at the top, you know, and like the aisle's right there. And I'm at that corner thing. He keeps standing right at the start of the aisle between me and the game.
You're like, could you just.
Yeah. And I'm like,
move along,
so I'm like knitting and like looking and looking around. And finally Adam's like, hey, we can't see because you're standing there. And he looks around, he's like gestures, like she's not even watching. She's knitting. Right. What's the deal? So he steps aside and like attitude, right? Because he's had several at this point. Right. So he's sort of like, whatever. Like, fine, I'll get out of the way. And then he stands there and looks at me the whole, like making the point, like watching her, like what's the big deal? She's not even watching. And he's just like staring at me. And I'm like, thanks, you know, when he moves aside. Yeah. And then I just sit there and I knit because I always bring something you don't have to look at. So I'm just sitting there knitting and I'm cheering along and I'm talking to my husband, whatever. And finally, after like 3 plays, he's like, and he like goes off somewhere else.
That's turdly.
Yeah, it was totally turdly.
That was not Boston nice.
It wasn't. It was Hartford rude. It was Hartford
rude. But not everybody at the Yard Goats game is like that, I'm sure.
No, it's also a really fun place to go. We really enjoy those games.
I kind of just want to see the logo for the Yard Goats, so I'll go look.
Oh, it's kind of a cartoony goat head. Yeah, but they'll do like around when do they do it? At some point in the summer, they'll do it Los Chivos instead. So the Spanish, you know, in Spanish, and then the logo's like a Day of the Dead goat. Oh, and those look super cool.
That is cool.
A pickle or something.
Go to one. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
we could like take our knitting and drink beer and watch the game. I would enjoy that.
Well, I have talked to them before and been like, do you guys do a knit at the park thing? And I guess they used to a long time ago. And I was like, I need to talk to them and see if we can get that going. Cause I'm sure we could get enough knitters to fill a segment. And if not, then they just release it.
I love baseball. I'm there.
I have so much fun with baseball. And I don't even care. Like I cheer for the Yard Goats because I'm here and whatever. Yeah. But it's a minor league team, so the guys change a lot, you know, because sometimes they get called up or back down.
Who are they affiliated with? Who's their major league?
I want to say the Colorado Rockies.
Yay!
Yeah. So.
Really? That's cool. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to have to do that then.
Yeah, it's so fun. So nowadays, right? So it still has, you know, when you go to the ballpark and the tickets behind the actual
dugout?
Home base.
Oh, yeah.
Are super expensive, but they're also like cushy. And there's someone who'll come by and be like, can I get you anything? You know? Yeah. We just assumed that they would be ridiculously priced. Right.
Yeah.
And they're always sold. They're always season ticket holders,
sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But a lot of the times people buy the season tickets, they only go to a few games a week or 1 game a week, whatever. So there's always a lot of them available.
Nice.
They're like $9.
What?
Yeah.
Let's do
It's
that.
like $9. So now that we know that, that's where we look for first if we can get any resale tickets there.
Yeah,
and 9 times out of 10 when we go, we are directly behind the hitter.
How fun.
It is such a cool vantage point because you're also lower, right? So it's like your head's at like his mid calf or whatever, and you're just watching the game. It's so cool. I love it.
Awesome.
And when I run out of soda, someone comes by and is like, do you want another soda? And they'll go get me another soda.
You're like, sure, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Settle up at the end of the night.
Now I'm going to have to go see if there's any minor league teams within reasonable driving distance of me.
Yeah. Oh, minor league games are so fun. I love them.
It's fun. We used to go to when we lived in northern Utah, we would go to the Ogden Raptors games.
Okay.
Raptors?
I spent a summer in Layton, and we would go to the Salt Lake Buzz games, and that was a lot of fun. And they had a good stadium too.
Fun. Anyway, cool. So tell me about your swatch.
I swatched and it got swatchy, so that worked.
It got swatchy.
So I did a cheater swatch, which maybe I shouldn't. So the swatch I did is about 5 inches wide. I only did it about that far instead of going 4 inches. I only went about 2.5 because I wasn't worried about vertical gauge. I just wanted to know horizontal gauge.
Okay.
And I wet it and I pinned it out and I let it dry for a bit. And then I took the pins off and it didn't spring back. And I was like, good enough for me. Like I measured at that point and it was fine. Like if it's holding its shape when it's like that, it's going to hold its shape when it's dry. I've never had that not happen. So moving along, famous last words as I start my project. What I am working on is a pattern called Build Your Own Barnyard Skirt.
I'll put the link down below because you sent it to me.
I sent it to you yesterday, I think.
Yes, you did. I have it.
I chose this pattern when I was running the children's group at our church.
Okay.
And I thought that would be a fun thing to wear on a Sunday. And also that would be a fun thing to wear at a fiber festival.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's super cute.
So let me see. I don't have a picture here but I'll explain how it works. So blue skirt at the bottom, you have a row of barnyard animals. Below that, you have a fence.
Like a corral fence. It's like a wooden.
Yeah, like a white wooden fence. And then the end of the skirt. So that's it. It's just a knit skirt.
Yeah.
The way the pattern's written is she gives you the cast on number for the different sizes and it's small through extra large. And she says, okay, now here are the individual charts. Here's, so to do the fence for these sizes, do this many repeats of the 14 stitch fence. Okay. Do this many repeats of the 15 stitch fence.
Okay.
Okay. So you have 2 things.
Yep.
And then she gives you, and I can show this, she gives you all these, they're sort of cut apart and stuff because I did it already. You get the charts with like the different animals.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so you then cut out the animals you want at the right stitch number.
Okay.
And
you
put
literally paste it together.
And you literally paste it together.
Or if you have Knit Companion, you can learn how to do that digitally.
Now, I sat down to do that.
Okay.
And about lost my mind. It was the first time that I've tried to do the piece together function on Knit Companion. Uh-huh. And I was doing it and I realized it was going to be a total pain in the butt because it's really written for like, you have these 3 pieces, have Knit Companion put them together.
Okay.
Great. Or you have this one that you want to make a longer repeat of, have it put it together. Great. This one is like, take this animal, take that animal, take this animal, take that animal. Yeah. So going through that process was going to take me ages.
Okay.
So I figured out how to do it, but I was like, I'm not doing this. Like I'm going old school.
That's all right. Yeah.
Also, another problem is that she says use the 14 stitch count fence or the 15 stitch count fence. She provided 2 14 stitch count fences. And then also there's a point where you can like put in a little gate. And she says like she gives you 3 options for the gate, but only 2 of them are the stitch count. She says one of them, the one I was supposed to use, is a different stitch count.
And there's not an errata somewhere?
There's not an errata. And so I did let her know, because only 10 people have this on Ravelry so far. And if they haven't happened to do my size, then no one would have caught this yet.
No one would have realized that there's a mistake in the.
Yeah. So I had to sit down and do the math with what I had. And all I had to do is cast on 2 extra stitches. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, but still, if you're going to pay for a pattern, it should be.
Figuring out that was what was going on. That was the frustrating thing. Right. And then I went through and did my pattern
for animals. And look at, is that a doggy?
So that's a little dog. So let me, so this will be,
You've taped it together.
Yeah, I cut it out and taped it together. They're only about 11 rows each, so it's not going to be the end of the world. So this will be the front half of the skirt.
Oh, that's super cute. Oh
yeah. So it's like, it's like this much. That much is the front of the skirt. Yeah. Okay. So the fence is a little off center, and then the dog will be pretty much centered.
Like dog balances that out.
Yeah, the dog's pretty much center. She did say in the thing to put the gate off center. It just looks better that way. But I decided to sort of center the dog.
The dog balances out the fence. Yeah. The gate.
Yeah. So, and there's like pigs and chickens and cows and llamas and whatever. I just wanted it to be sheep. And you can also do, and I'm going to decide this later, but you can do each of the sheep like a different yarn or a different color if you want to. But then if I do that, it needs to be in tarja in the round. So, it's just like what, I don't know.
You can do leatherback jacquard for that.
I could. Yeah. I decided to just like get started and figure that part out later. So that's what I'm doing. So it starts with a provisional cast on, you knit for a while, you do a turn back hem, and then you carry on. So that is where I am, is knitting all the rounds for the back side of the hem right now.
Yeah, because you won't get to the animal part for a while.
It'll be a bit. And I can do the fence before then and all of that. So yeah, but
how would you do the fence before then? Is it knitted from the waist down or the bottom?
No, you're up. You start with the hem.
Oh, I didn't clue in on that. Okay.
Yeah, no, because I described it from the top down, but you knit it from the bottom up.
Okay. Yeah. Now I get it.
Yeah.
When you said do the fence first, I'm like, what?
No, I have a bit of knitting, and this is only going to be mindless knitting until I get to the fence, and then I have to pay attention a little more. Right. So once I get to that part, I have another project that is a tunic that I think I'm going to knit a little longer so I can wear it as a proper dress. Okay. That has the same sort of start where you start with a provisional cast on and knit the hem, and then get along for a while before you start some Fair Isle patterning. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so I can, when I'm working on this, I can work on this at home and have that one to start with my mindless knitting. And then once I'm through the Fair Isle on this one, anyway, they should work well together.
What's the other one, the pattern for the other one?
The other one is called Cafe au Lait by Mandy Moore, who's Olak Designs. And it's really lovely. She calls it Cafe au Lait because she did it in a natural sort of tanny brown shade, like coffee with milk. But she sort of switched up how the patterning usually goes, where she took like a Norwegian star and put it under the zigzags instead of in the center. Okay. So it actually looks really nice. So you have some patterning around the bottom, and you have some patterning around the shoulders. Mm-hmm. And other than that, you have like all that in between space, right? That's just round. So yeah. So that'll be nice too.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. What are you working on?
Well, I just finished knitting my stripe for the day.
Good. Oh, do you have anything else to show, or do you want to get into that?
Sure. I have to tell you about my Afghan. I've mentioned this on the podcast once before, but I think we have different viewers for this. So my sister, not the one in Utah, but the one that lives here, got new furniture. She moved. She got new furniture. And she was helping me with my QuickBooks because she's, like better at that. And I hate it so much. And yeah, I'm a procrastinator. So anyway, I'm making her a throw. And we are not sure how to say this, but we think it might be a Stór Mo Chroí.
Stór Mo Chroí? Chroí?
Maybe you have to go, I don't know. Anyway, it's named after, I'll put the link, in the chat, of course. And
yes, we are not Gaelic speakers, and so we do
apologize.
But it
says the title, a Stór means treasure. Mo Chroí is of my heart. And it says that's a 19th century Irish folk song written by Brian O'Higgins, and like so many ballads, speaks of travels and the love and warmth of home, which I didn't know that when she picked the pattern. But you knit the blocks and they end up being 17 or 18 inches square. And then you put it on waste yarn because you attach them, I think, with a 3-needle bind off. And so I need to knit more of these, but here.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's lovely. And you can see I have it on waste yarn. I've blocked this one. I have it on waste yarn, and I just slip knotted all 3 of those together. So I will do 3-needle bind off all those together. I have enough yarn. The pattern's written for 9, but I think I have enough yarn to make 12.
Okay.
So thank you to the person in Australia that had the yarn I needed. I had one skein and my sister saw it and went, oh, this is great. Can we get more of this? And it was a Malabrigo Rios, a worsted, and they don't make this color anymore. So I went on Ravelry and I did the, stash, looked at people's stashes for the ones that say for will sell or trade. And there was a woman in Australia that had 10 skeins of the same dye lot.
Oh, wow.
I messaged her and I said, I need that.
Oh, that just reminded me. So one of the things when I was getting everything set up for the pattern last night, one of the things I was thinking about whether I was going to do the sheep in different colors was I went to the website. I'm using brown sheep nature spun in worsted. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll just pick up like 3 more colors and do different sheeps out of them.
Right.
But to do that would be like $100 to get the extra colors. It would be like $70 plus the shipping to get it to me. Yeah. And so if anyone happens to have, like, you're done with your project and you have just like a small ball of nature spun from brown sheep in worsted, I would be happy to pay postage
in the natural,
and just like natural shades, like different shades of brown.
Message Anne at what's your proper email? I always
you can do Anne at ithoughtIknewhow.com, Anne with an E at the end, Anne at ithoughtIknewhow.com, and that will get to me. So just if anyone happens to, I have other yarn that I could sub in, but if anyone happens to have nature spun worsted, I just need like, I think she was saying it was like 13 yards at most for each one.
So yeah. How many grams would that? I don't know, but a small amount.
I have no idea, but some of the sheep are even smaller than that. So I think like 6 yards would be enough for some of them.
Anyway,
so just itty bits.
I'm gonna pop that in an envelope. I'm sure Anne would appreciate it.
I would love you for it. I would love you.
Excellent. All right.
I love that Ravelry like has that option though, where people can just be like, I enjoyed buying this yarn and I enjoyed padding it for a while, but maybe I'm not going to use it. So if anyone needs it.
If you're destashing, it's cool to find something. I was really pleased to be able to find 10 skeins of this particular color for the throw that my sister wants. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I was really happy about that. And so I even though I think I only need like 10 or 9, I went and bought all that she had, because I mean I can make it a little bigger potentially, and I just you want to make sure you have plenty, especially if there's no more.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Cool. Okay. Great. Well, you're already going. Show me your stripey and your.
Okay, so this is day 6, the day 6 stripe. See that?
Ooh.
And then now there's the neutral.
Yep. Very nice.
And here comes day 7. Oh. Oh, that seems a little darker now.
Okay. Is that a darker, like a blue
Well,
gray?
it seems like a little darker turquoise. Teal.
Okay.
I don't know. Is turquoise more blue or more green?
That's the ongoing debate, right?
I don't know. But it's going to be cool. You can tell it's a
That
little,
is nice.
yeah.
I like that.
Yes, it's interesting to see what's going to happen. My mom is ahead. And I'm like, don't tell me.
Cheater.
Mm.
But Michelle did give people permission to work ahead if they wanted to have the sock done by the end of the month.
Right. She's ahead of me. My mom, but I'm like, don't tell me. I don't want you to tell me.
Yeah.
But she
No
said,
more showing.
yeah. No. I haven't seen hers. And I mean, I'm not going to look. I need to go over there this afternoon and let her dog out, but I'm not going to look.
No peeking.
No.
Okay. So this one, obviously, a little bit of knitting.
Nice.
So my oldest was designing the stickers for me, and they came down and we're like, Mom, I started this thing where like day 1 has one thing, day 2 has 2 things. And I don't think I can keep that up. I don't have enough room. And I was like, that's okay. You have self-imposed that. It's fine. So they got a little more creative. So they have a little 7 is knitting.
Super cute.
I'm so proud of the stickers, my kids' stickers.
Absolutely.
So today we are with a new maker.
Nice.
I gotta fluff up the label a little bit. It got a little mashed in the packing.
Oh,
so
no.
we're with Aister.
Yeah.
100% Shetland wool. So this family lives on a croft that the family has lived on continuously for like 300 years or something. It's incredible. It's
That's
fantastic.
There'll be some heritage.
So say that again.
There's some heritage there.
Total heritage there, right? So this is from Cunningsborough and Shetland, and this color is Havera.
Okay.
And it's showing a little truer blue on the screen.
Wow.
Then maybe nope, that is the color.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing.
Nice.
So lovely blue shade for the winter boxes. I know some of you spring box people have been reaching out and saying you love your colors and you're really excited and it's wonderful. If you want to post them, please post them the day after, because I do have other people asking to see the spring colors. And again, I don't have them. There was a weirdness with my website. I don't have the spring box. So everyone's going to have to wait otherwise until the last day with the interview with Terri in order to see the spring colors. So if you have them,
ended up sending the one you had to a customer.
yeah.
Right. So if people will post on Instagram using hashtag SHB2023, that would be helpful.
That would be great.
Awesome.
And then people can follow that hashtag and Instagram will just show you the post.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
you have things to knit. Not a lot going on here. Just waiting for my kids to come home. Next week is finals. Still haven't found my Christmas crap. It's all right.
Is that your goal for today? Christmas crap?
And
I bully you into it.
I don't know. It might be on the weekend.
Because
I have a bunch of other things to do today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to go grocery shop. I have a lot of stuff. I sort of took the last few days off of doing work things other than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I have some sort of boring stuff that people don't care about and don't want to hear about that I need to. Regular
things like
regular jobs stuff.
And people know my mom lives here, so like it's laundry for her. So I need to do that.
Yeah. I did so much laundry yesterday.
I mean, just regular people stuff has to keep happening. So before we go, we'll just say happy Hanukkah to people who are celebrating and acknowledge that begins this evening.
Tonight. Yeah.
So happy
Hanukkah, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.